unscripted as usual, but let's make it quick. Here goes 5 underrated anime you guys should keep on your list. Let's do it. First off, we have Charlotte. I remember it was back in my sophomore year of high school, specifically in geometry, where I had a fellow weeb friend who I'd talk anime with. One of the greatest recommendations he's ever given me was this very show. You pretty much follow the life of 4 high school students who have special abilities, and in this world, when you're going through puberty, it's the same time you'll find yourself unlocking these hidden special abilities. And considering that people are still in their developmental phase when going through puberty, they pretty much tend to act off impulse and not do things with reason, leading to big mistakes that can possibly harm others. The main protagonist, being a victim of such a lifestyle himself, joins these other 3 students who are just like him, and they pretty much go around looking for people who are young and abusing their power and using their special abilities for the wrong reason. Like, it's such an interesting anime with an amazing concept. I love it so much. Oh, and in case you're a fan of any of these, this was also made by Jun Maeda, who is responsible for writing Angel Beats and Clannad. So if you enjoyed those stories, you'll most likely enjoy Charlotte as well. Now on to the next, we have Medaka Box. If you guys have never heard me talk about Medaka Box on this channel, let me say, not only is the one and only Medaka Kurokami in the middle of my banner, but she was my waifu before Urza, and yeah. So I have a lot of love for the series, you know? Let's keep this one short as well. Medaka Box is essentially about the student council that's pretty much willing to take on literally any odd jobs that the students request. I don't know if you guys have seen Gintama, but you know, taking on the odd jobs things, it gets that crazy, you know? The thing about this story is that it just gets more and more interesting every time. I don't know, I was just always hyped to see what would happen the next episode. It did a really good job of entertaining you. Like, it's so amazing. Oh yeah, by the way, it's also a Shonen Jump series, so if you're a Super Jump fanboy, you might like this show. I feel like Medaka Box really went under the radar as the series started back in 2012. I feel like it should have gotten a lot more attention than it got. It also has a 2nd season called Medaka Box Abnormal. You should watch that too. It's amazing. And all in all, the show is just enjoyable. You should definitely give it a try. Bro. Next we have Welcome to the NHK. Dude, I don't know where to start. Just such a beautiful show. Now, this is a show that I can relate to on a personal level. Obviously not to the extent that the anime takes it, but simply in general when it comes to facing the public. Keeping it as general as possible, it's about this dude with an inferiority complex pretty much, and he feels like everybody's been looking down on him, especially after graduation when he's about to go into college. He just feels this societal pressure just being forced down on him. And just like that, he's like, you know what? Nah, college is not the way. He just can't handle the fact that everybody's always looking down on him. This eventually leads to his fear of society and the public and being around people he doesn't know, which results in him becoming a hikikomori, a shut-in NEET, whatever you want to call it. Keeping himself indoors and barely making contact with the outside world, he feels as though this is the only way he can live, though it's not the greatest of lifestyles. Let's just say throughout the story, you see him go through the ups and downs of this hikikomori lifestyle of his. Now that's all I'm gonna say. When I tell you this is a beautiful show, this is a beautiful show, and it's hilarious. Let me say, oh man, it's so funny. Once again, I can relate to this in a sense, just in the fact that I always feel inferior to everybody. Like I'm really scared of people, dude. It's something that I'm trying to work on, but it's so difficult. So I really did feel this one. And quick note before we move on to the next one, the opening, oh man, bro, the opening top 10, it's so amazing, man. It gives me goosebumps every time I listen to it. Oh my goodness, it's so amazing. Overall, this show is a masterpiece. It's a hidden masterpiece. It's a slept on masterpiece. And this is the same masterpiece that I believe you should watch. Oh boy. Up next, we have Punchline. Now I know I've brought up Punchline multiple times in previous videos, but there's a reason. There is an actual reason for why I talk about it so much. It's because it's fun to watch. I just remember it was sometime last year where I was just like, man, I'm not in the mood to watch anime. And it was like that for like a cool month or two. But one day I was just scrolling through Crunchyroll, and you know, all I needed to see was the cover. That alone had me like, I want to watch this. But the thing is that I held off on it for like a few weeks. But then when I was like, dude, I need me some more Japanese animation, I hopped back on, went to Punchline, and just like that, I started watching. And man, let me tell you, I knew what happiness was, man. And I'll keep on saying it, the show has such a fun vibe. Something about it just made me want to keep watching. And that's what I did until I finished it. And that's when I was like, man, I'm down to watch some anime again. So yeah, that's pretty much a short story of how my anime slump went down and how Punchline woke me up from that anime slump. But I guess you guys want to know what it's about, right? This kid Yuta Iridatsu dies in an accident, and from that point forward he's pretty much invisible to his roommates and he follows them around as a spirit separated from his body, his roommates all being females, which is quite the issue considering that the fate of the world relies on his urge to not look at their underwear. When I tell you this show is ridiculous, it's actually ridiculous, but it's so funny in doing so, and I just think once again it's a fun watch. You should watch it. And now we move on to our last and final show, Bungo Stray Dogs. Now I remember starting the show around the time season 2 came out, and since that day I've been such a huge fan. I even have a Bungo Stray Dogs poster in my room. I have memories with this show, man. And if I'm not mistaken, it was around junior year when my crush at the time rejected me that season 3 first started airing, and I was on it like the fanboy that I am. Like it didn't matter where. Like I would watch it in class whenever we had some chill time and everything. Like I watched it without shame because I knew it was awesome, and I wasn't afraid to show my love for the show, even while sitting next to the girl that didn't like me back. The show is just too much of a masterpiece for my surroundings to interfere with its greatness. Now I don't want to sound like I'm hyping this up to be the greatest show of all time, but I swear it's some slept on heat. To not say a lot, it's about a young dude named Atsushi, and since the day he's been kicked out of an orphanage, he's pretty much been on the streets trying to find a way to live and survive through whatever means necessary. This is until he runs into a member of the armed detective agency and finds a place he can call home as the group keeps order around the city. I really like the setting of the story, and it's really easy to like every character you meet. I mean, even the antagonists are enjoyable to watch. Like all in all, it's a really clean show that's well written, and it does everything you'd want a good story to do. It's one of my personal favorites. I'd even say top 5 favorites if I ever made a list, and I want it to be one of your favorites as well, so you should definitely give this one a go. And with that, we conclude 5 completely slept on masterpieces that you should be watching. That's not what the video is called, but you know. Hope I was able to make some decent recommendations. These are the shows that I personally think are underrated and deserve a bit more attention, and there are definitely a lot more shows out there like these, but I'll leave you guys with just these for now. I'd say like the video if you like the video, comment if you want to say anything. Maybe if one of these are one of your favorite shows, we can talk about that. And feel free to subscribe. Let me say I've been feeling good these days, man. Like dude, I cleaned my room yesterday being August 27th. I'm peacefully waiting and ready for the fall semester to start. My friends have been keeping me company. I've been watching a Gretzko lately, which is a complete vibe. Not even gonna lie, life is pretty sugoi right now. But that's all I gotta say. If you wish to keep up with my life and whatnot, you can do so by following me on social media. I'm most active on Twitter, but links to everything will be in the description below. It's been Otaku Dreams, and that is all she wrote.